This is Hotel Bravo 9, Hotel Juliet Uniform, also known as Hotel India 8, India Lima Oscar, and Kilo Charlie 7, India Lima Oscar. The name here is Luis, and today I'm recording our inaugural amateur radio outdoors JS8CALL net. And wasn't able to record properly a moment ago, but now finally I'm able to record the net in video as we are transmitting. So this net is running on JS8CALL, and we're using the power of the JS8CALL network. Right now we are operating in 40 meters, and as you can see it's 5:40 p.m. UTC. Right now we have already completed the call for check-ins, and the way we did that was, and let me go back here on top, we added these groups at ARO, and then ARO 0, 1, all the way through 9. So the way we do check-ins on a JS8CALL net, you would need to rely on a couple of features of the JS8CALL platform. First, JS8CALL allows you to send an all-call message, which is essentially a call to all the stations that can hear you. And then you can send specific messages to groups that you can configure. So basically the stations hearing you will need to add these groups in order for any communication to stay inside of those groups. Think of it as chat rooms, if you will. So anyone with the group at ARO will receive messages directed to that group. So why is this useful? This is useful because when you are sending traffic, the way this works is that I can send a message to ARO, and anyone with the group will receive that message. And that separates those messages from everybody else in the network. So that's a very cool aspect of the JS8CALL system. Another element that is interesting is when you are sending messages to specific groups, you can also request something called SNR, signal to noise ratio. So in order to do check-ins, what you do is that you right-click on any group, and then you request a signal report. So what this allows is for anyone hearing you, it will automatically, if you have it available, obviously configured, it will automatically send a signal report. So that applies as a check-in. So for example, right now, we heard, a moment ago, we heard F4 France, Foxtrot 4, Hotel Victoria, Quebec, and you know, it's a station in France. And the beauty of this is that we did the check-ins, and let me go just a little bit up. Here you go. And essentially we started here. We started with an all-call message saying greetings all, starting at 5 p.m. UTC, the amateur radio outdoors JS8CALL Sunday net. All are invited. Please add ARO as a general group for net control. Messages, for net control messages, 73 from Zurich, Switzerland. And then we started with the inaugural message, which is directed to specifically at ARO. Happy Sunday from amateur radio outdoors, and welcome to our inaugural net. Any stations with priority emergency traffic may send it now to @ARO. General net instructions to follow. Since we didn't hear any emergency messages, no emergency traffic heard on the Sunday JS8CALL net, check-ins will be taken as follows. And then we gave the instructions. Please add @ARO and a number as a group based on your call sign. In my case, I will have to add @ARO 9 and have your station ready to respond to signal to noise ratio to SNR requests. And then we proceeded to ask all stations from all groups for an SNR. So basically we gave those instructions, and then we started asking ARO 0 for an SNR all the way to ARO 9. Then we gave a message to @ARO. This has concluded the check-in portion of the net. One station heard. Now moving to the traffic portion of the amateur radio JS8CALL Sunday net. Operator Luis in Zurich, Switzerland. And then finally we heard from, and we asked this stage for Hotel Victoria Quebec to direct your traffic to at ARO. So and then he responded. He responded here saying, few stations heard today, better luck than time. And now I'm responding to him saying, thank you for checking in. This first net was experimental. Propagation was not great, and we are starting the work. We will keep it as a Sunday net promoted. Thank you. So basically, we now send this message to everyone within the ARO network that we have just created. Will hear this message, and it will be available to them directly. It will show as a red message on the left side. Now, it's not a fast mode. It is a very slow mode. I am running on normal right now, meaning that a message like this would take about 3 minutes for it to be sent. In terms of propagation, let me show you how we're being heard right now. Here you go. In terms of propagation, we are right now being heard, and let's have it just, you see, so not great right now. It's really bad. And let me only show 40 meters. Here you go. So now we'll filter, and you see my propagation is just really incredibly bad right now. So this doesn't help. However, the beauty of this system is that if any station can hear me, they can actually forward my messages, or they can relay messages from one station to the other. For example, if I have a station hearing me in France, they have a way of a station in England will ask if anyone is able to hear me automatically, and this station in France will say, yes, I can hear you. So the station in England can actually use that station in France to send a message to me. So this has a relay system within it, which is amazing and beautiful. The way this is built on top of FT8, it's really amazing. So I will be recording an additional video explaining how to configure the system. But in terms of this being an inaugural net, having at least one station coming back, that's a great win situation in my notebook. Also, right now I don't have the antenna set up in a way that it gives me the best propagation, so I need to fix that. And I am sure that I'm not hearing as well as I should right now, but that's fine. I mean, this is amateur radio, and this is why we do this. We do this to learn, and we do this to experiment. So basically, what I will do now is close the net, since I only have one station. And you know what? Let me do an additional SNR. I will do an additional call for check-ins. And so we sent another message And you see, so we're not tying the frequency. We're within our own system right now, and this is very interesting. And also, I know propagation is not the best at this point, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Now, here's another aspect of this network that makes it very interesting. It's not working using the internet. It's not using the internet at all. So what that means is that in case you actually need to send a message to any station, or even send emails, or send SMS to phone numbers, you can actually do it using JS8CALL, even though it's not using the internet. How does this work? Well, you see, if you go here, if you go to settings, and after settings, you go to networking auto reply, you can configure this so the system actually replies automatically. But when you go to reporting, you see this that says enable spotting to reporting networks. When you click here, this will send any station that you hear to PSK Reporter or JSA-Net. But if you click on enable spotting at APRS EIS messages to the APRS IS network, any node, any station that is active on the JS8CALL system will automatically forward any packets and information that it receives directed to the at APRS network, will automatically send it for you. What this means is that I can actually send emails to email-2, or I can send text messages to SMS GTE, meaning that I can send messages, I can send emails, or I can actually spot myself APRS to SOTA, or I can spot myself on the POTA gateway. So I can be on top of a mountain and send a spot for either SOTA or POTA, summits on the air, parks on the air. So anything that you can do on APRS, you can also do on JS8CALL. So let me do another. I will direct another message here, this time to the general net. That you should never do, because if you do that and you have 100 stations or 30 stations or 15 stations, all of them will come to you at the same time with a signal report, which might overwhelm a little bit the operator. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. At this point, I know that probably I only have one person listening to this, so that's perfectly fine. So next video that I will be recording will be how do you configure your station for operating in this scenario as part of the net. And so hopefully that is able to hear me will be able to see there's another station hearing me. Will be able to come back with a signal report. And now I have the opportunity to direct a message to this station, which wasn't able to come in before. And now we're telling this station, we acknowledge Golf 7 Lima Tango Quebec. Please direct your traffic to at ARO. Thank you. And so the beauty of this is that even though you are operating in a frequency that is shared among many people, and it's only one frequency, 7078 megahertz, so everyone is spaced on different frequencies, so it makes it very interesting. On sub frequencies within that one, it makes it very interesting. And is the fact that you can do a keyboard to keyboard experience within the system without an internet connection. Now, imagine that you use this type of system for emergency communications. You can have a city and separate your city in districts, or you can have a state and separate your state in cities, or you can have your country and separate your country in counties, in provinces. You can have a specific communications tailored to a specific groups. And this is the beauty of this system. Now, by doing a net using this platform, what you're actually in practice doing is teaching people how to create those groups, how to use Heartbeat and other additional very interesting items that you can configure on the system. So right now we have 2 check-ins at this point, and bear in mind that I haven't basically tell anyone about this. I literally just had this idea this morning, and we already have 2 check-ins, so that makes it very, very interesting. And so now what we're doing is we're waiting for this station G7LTQ to come back. And yeah, it will take a bit of a moment if he's able to hear me. So if he is, he will come back with a message for the Amateur Radio Doors JS8CALL Sunday net. If a few cycles pass and we don't hear from him, what we'll do is we'll basically start the closing portion of the net. And at that point, we basically will tell people to go to our website and to our YouTube channel, and they will see the recording of this net. Nothing heard. We will now start the closing portion of the net. So what happens with this is that what you can do, you can pre-program these messages also. Me as a net control operator, as a net control station, I can have the opening message preset, and I can send that message with just one click. That makes it very interesting. Replies can also be preset as well. I can also pre-record the endings. So for me, managing the net is incredibly easy. Now, think about it in terms of you being able to manage a net anywhere. Right now, I'm at home. So for me, it's just, by the way, I'm recording this using my phone, and I'm using VNC to manage the station, which is an Elecraft KX3 with 10 watts. So I'm running this net with 10 watts. And I'm using a VNC to my Raspberry Pi. So this system is portable enough that I can actually go on top of a mountain and run net control from there. And that makes it incredibly, incredibly useful if you think about the possibilities. So I had a G7 station, if I'm not mistaken. This is an England station. And I have an F4 station, and I believe this is a France station. And I'm doing this with only 10 watts. So if you come to think about it, the capabilities are impressive. The way you can handle this type of communications is amazing. Now I'm closing the net. And I'm saying that I will be sending a special QSL card to F4. Let me just make sure that I'm not doing this incorrectly. HVQ and G7LTQ. Thank you for checking in. This net will run every Sunday 5 p.m. UTC on 40 meters. Please visit ARO.travel for links to the recording of this net. Many thanks. And 73. The Wiz. And now, obviously, this is a very long message. I will be sending this message to all the stations that were able to hear me. And I will also make sure that I send an email to both stations with the links to this recording. Obviously, we will also be asking them to please share with other people, because that's how you make a net known, that's how you make a system known. Now remember, this is running over the air, this is not running on cell towers, this is not running on any technology other than radio waves, and that's it. So no infrastructure needed. What this means is, even if any infrastructure fails, we still have, as amateur radio operators, the capability of running nets, of communicating with people, of organizing response to any situation, or even just communicate with other people without, any type of censorship, if you will, or basically we have to follow rules, but within those rules we have the liberty of communicating with others. And this makes this type of communications incredibly useful. So I believe that I have to thank Kilo November 4 Charlie Romeo Delta, and also I need to send a special thanks to Oscar Hotel 8 Sierra Tango November Julian. First, I have to thank Kilo November 4 Charlie Radio Delta for his work and his team's work on developing JS8CALL. This is an underappreciated, in my opinion, tool. This is a tool that I believe it's incredibly powerful. It's more, if you think about it in terms of only keyboard-to-keyboard communications, I believe you are missing out on the power of this tool. This is a communications network that allows you to organize people among geographies and allows you to also know propagation state and who can hear you. Now, if you are on HF and even on 2 meters, because this runs on basically any frequency from 160 meters all the way to 2 meters, and perhaps even more. I haven't obviously tested every frequency out, but if I click here, which I'm not gonna change, it only goes to 2 meters. But think about it. You can be on top of a mountain and just use this system to communicate with anyone from 160 to 2 meters using weak signal technology, the same technology that FT8 runs on top of. And my congratulations to Kilo November 4 Charlie Romeo Delta. Amazing work, man. Amazing work. Also to Oscar Hotel 8 Sierra Tango November Julian. The work he's done on letting people know what JS8CALL is, it's amazing. He has done an impressive work running this system in the literal middle of nowhere, and showing us what is possible with less than 10 watts. So congratulations, Julian, for this amazing work. You will be able to see this recording as well. My final thanks today is for Kilo Mike 4 Alpha Charlie Kilo, KM4ACK. Jason, man, the recording that you're seeing is running on top of built API. You gave me the inspiration to build this system along with Julian. So even though you don't know me, my thanks to you. My thanks to you for your work. I'm at the Radio Doors. Will be doing more with JS8CALL. We have a great, very crazy idea that you can use JS8CALL to send information like radiograms, ICS forms, and also, if properly configured, I believe that you can use this to build a communications network that goes beyond only text. I believe that you can use this type of system to also be able to send emergency messages and actual data to other platforms. So for me, this is a communication platform where you can build an email system on top of this, or you can also, if you will, you can also build a call sign system. Again, this is very experimental, but I believe that this JS8CALL is a transport layer that you can actually use for many things. So I will be experimenting with that. So again, thank you all, and I will be now closing the net. And hold on, because we have something else here. We have a message that says, "Thank you, Luis, for this first JS8CALL net. For the next Sunday, I suggest you to send a notification on Twitter, and if you allow me, I can send message on the Discord channel." Of course. Please do send this information everywhere. F4HVQ. And the other message. And you see, he's sending me a message that it's now on my inbox. And yeah, it's amazing. It's a great system. And now we close the net.